Excuse me. Hey,
Hey.
what's your name and what do you do for a living?
Well, I'm Chris Hill. I work at AUT Ventures as a Commercialization Director.
Cool. I'm a street interviewer.
Right.
I'm doing a quick interview. Can I borrow you for 5-10 minutes?
Sure. I was just going to grab a coffee.
Yeah, sure. Let's go grab together.
Okay.
Tell us, what does AUT Venture do?
We commercialize the research that comes out of the university. You know, there's 2,000 people roughly doing research at AUT, and they're coming up with a bunch of good ideas every day, and we help find commercial paths for all of that intellectual property that's generated to help create impact in society.
Sounds super cool. So as an investor, what's your view on AI and AI startups?
It seems pretty hard, like it's the Wild West out there, right? There's so much going on. It's quite hard to keep up with and quite hard to figure out what's just a brief fad and what's got some long-term value.
Yeah, there's so many AI startups created every day, right? So it's so difficult to find the most promising
That's
AI.
right. And there's whole departments in the university now that are focusing on AI, and so there's lots and lots of people that are doing it. It's really hard to sort of cut through and figure out what's really going to make the big difference, unless you're a Sam Altman and you've got billions of dollars at your fingertips. What are all the smaller players? Which ones of those are going to make the difference?
Yeah, exactly. So from your point of view, have you seen any promising AI startups from the researchers?
Some, it's fairly early days. There's some around the health, the health space where people are trying to figure out really, really niche applications. You know, New Zealand's a small country, and so the kind of startups that do well out of New Zealand tend to be quite niche, quite focused.
Yeah, especially for the early startups.
Especially for the early startups. Yeah.
What kind of AI tools do you use on the daily basis?
Me personally, I mean, I just use the big three, right? Perplexity, ChatGPT, a little bit of Gemini, but just that's only because it defaults on search. And then we have subscriptions at work for Microsoft Copilot. So I've been using some of the research agents and things on Copilot, and I've done a little bit of vibe coding. I'm not a coder, but I've written a little bit of Python script and using
That's great, yeah.
Using Copilot.
So what's the main use cases do you use the vibe coding for?
I just wrote a cutesy little app that I wanted to get quotes of the day. I've always, I keep this list of all these different things that I've seen in articles and stuff, and I wanted to see one of those every day. So I wrote this little Python script.
What vibe coding tool do you use? Do you use Cursor or Claude Code?
I just did it straight in Copilot. I'm not a coder. Not from a software background, so I was just dabbling really.
I think vibe coding enables more non-technical person to be able to create applications.
Yeah, although that little app I built, it worked first time out of the box, but then I tried to get it to do more things, and I kind of went into this death loop, and I ended up going back to the original bit of code that worked and going, I'll just leave it. So it's not. I don't know. My experience was that it's not magic.
You've invested a few projects already. What kind of projects do you think might stand out as a good investment?
For investing in anything, any sort of technology ventures related to AUT. Chemicals, sustainability is big. Clean tech, huge. Med tech or health tech, those are also really big. So those are kind of the two probably biggest opportunities out of AUT that we're seeing. But there are other little ones out there as well that are coming along, which hopefully we'll see coming through the pipeline over the next months and years, in all sorts of fields.
Hopefully, more researchers will come out of your program.
That's the plan. Yeah, I mean that's probably our biggest challenge is getting researchers who are interested in commercialization.
Yeah,
a lot of academic researchers, they're creating great knowledge, and that's their passion in life. It's only a percentage of those that are actually really interested in taking that to the next level and seeing whether they can commercialize their ideas. So we're here to help those that want to do that. And I think over time that percentage is coming up. So we'll see more and more researchers that are interested in commercial paths.
Yeah. So if you could give researchers one piece of advice, so what's the best way to bring the research idea to life?
I think it's really think about the end applications. It's a lot of university research is fundamental research. Thinking about what problem your research or your information, your understanding, your knowledge might solve. And that's always the starting point, is really trying to connect what you're doing with a problem that people have.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Anytime. Thanks for the coffee, man.